I don't know if you've noticed how we as people, I'm going to go slightly, I feel like this is kind of sociological, slightly sociological, right? Do we as people become very uninspired by greatness very easily? Is it very quick that we see something amazing, it burns bright, we idolise it, and then when it doesn't burn quite so bright, we immediately go, well, that's not good enough. For example, Erling Haaland did outrageous things in his first season. In my opinion, deserved the Ballon d'Or and was robbed of a Ballon d'Or. It shouldn't have gone to Messi, in my opinion. And then this season, we've all said that he hasn't been good, City are better without him, it hasn't really worked out, and he has had an incredibly uninspiring season.
Is that partly because the manager has kind of shown a little, maybe not quite as happy with it? Has the manager invited this debate?
No, I don't think
I was about to say pulling him off, by substituting him.
No, I don't think
he's played a lot of football this season.
I know he has, and I know he's a young player. He's going to go through ups and downs.
I don't think it's Guardiola. I think the reason why it really came to a head is when Roy Keane labelled him a League Two footballer. That's where it really
I was massive about how ridiculous that was as a statement. Because ultimately that comes from pub chat, that comes from Twitter chat, not from someone as good as Roy Keane was, and certainly as a pundit. I think Roy Keane's, you got to remember, Roy Keane is. Yeah, he's got beef about it. I get it. Of course, I get that. But you're talking. You've got to remove yourself. You're not talking about Phil Neville or something like that. You're talking about one of the greats of his generation. He could go down as
Buvey.
Huh?
Be careful.
Yeah, but you're talking about one of the greats potentially to ever play in that position when he retires. He's already scored 200 career goals. 200.
Okay, can I just say, by the same token that Rory goes, have people gone too far because he's just had a little bit of a dip or whatever? Are you going too far the other way by going, he's already shown he's going to be one of the greatest strikers? Is that too far the other way? And therefore, do we then end up in this kind of polarized bit of debate where it's either shit or great or not? And
it's easy on a spectrum. Is he a zero? Is he Francis Jeffers, or is he is he a Zlatan Ibrahimovic type? Incredible. He's closer to that. He's an 8 or 9 out of 10 already. You have to be if you won the treble as a striker. I mean, he scored 200 career goals.
Just for the record, it's 61 goals.
Strikers. Yeah, but again, I'm not saying 60, but we've seen strikers score 30 goals and disappear.
But he's got the record already. But we talk about Premier League records. We talk about Andy Cole's records and Shearer. He's got the record in a single Premier League campaign for the most amount of goals ever scored. Ever scored.
And that's why I think last season he deserved the Ballon d'Or. But I'm just saying, is it too far to go? He's already one of the great,
it's
of his generation.
Goals. It's 61 goals in 59 games. What's happening, everyone? I'm terribly sorry for interrupting your clip, but trust me, you were going to want to hear this. We are partnered with Super 6, and guess what they are providing us with? The opportunity to play football alongside the club, all members of the club, in a glamorous football team playing at the Den. We're going to be playing against Pitchside. You could join us. All you need to do is download the app in the description below, and if you finish top of our league, you will be playing with us at the Den against Pitchside. Make sure that you click the link in the description below. A huge thank you to Super 6. Enjoy the rest of the video. I think I have a theory. You ready for my theory as to why people are slightly underwhelmed? It's because nobody's particularly inspired when they see him score 4 goals against Luton Town, or 5 against Luton Town, 4 goals against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Nobody is surprised by that. Manchester City, before they had a striker, were scoring big goals against the more mediocre teams in the Premier League. So that isn't what he was bought for. What he was bought for, you can argue, this season, maybe he hasn't done. What he was supposed to do this season, for example, how did he get on when he was head-to-head with Antonio Rudiger? How did he get on when he was head-to-head? How did he get on when he was head-to-head with Nacho? How did he get on when he was head-to-head with Gabriel and Saliba? How did he get on when he was head-to-head with Van Dijk? 0 points, 0 goals. No contribution.
Barely a shot on target.
No contribution. Missing sitters as well.
And that's why
sitter against Arsenal.
That's why we love football, because football is built on memories. It's built on these moments where you think, when Benzema scores all those goals and he wins the Ballon d'Or, 10 years before he's been scoring goals for Real Madrid, he's an unbelievable player, but it's the moments that gave him the recognition and the huge goals. He still needs more. He hasn't scored in a cup final for City yet. He didn't score in the Champions League final, in the FA Cup final. He's got a huge opportunity against Man United to do that.
That's what didn't help him with the Ballon d'Or, is when at the end of the season it was Rodri and Gundogan and that.
You couldn't tell me a goal last season, could you? Out of the 50 odd, give me a goal.
Apart from 6 he scored against United.
I can give you one. He scored a bicycle kick against Dortmund. Obviously, I remember that was amazing.
But I remember the celebration.
You can't give me, but you can't give me a huge.
With Messi and Ronaldo, they made us feel different about football, innit? Whereas Haaland is just pure, I'm going to stick the ball in the onion bag. And it's the hardest thing to do in football, so I'm not.
I think we did the same to Ronaldo. I think we did the same. You know, when Ronaldo was scoring, like that season when just before Cristiano Ronaldo left, I remember he scored a hat-trick against Tottenham. He was hat-trick in the Champions League. I think his goals alone for Manchester United were responsible for 10 points in that Champions League campaign. Like his goals alone, 10 points.
Amazing.
He scored bundles of goals that season. And for some reason, because people maybe don't like him or because they're so used to him being so good so often, people were going, Man United would be better without him. You're like, hang on, wait, what? You know, and I remember there was an article written where it was suggested that all Cristiano Ronaldo's goals do is make up for the problems that Cristiano Ronaldo's position in the team creates.
You know who looks at football like that, though? Pep. I genuinely think Pep looks, and he'd think, all right, he might be getting all these goals, but is he doing all of the things that I want him to do? And whilst I think what you're right in saying, obviously you get ridiculous criticism of Ronaldo around, but I do think Pep kind of looks at football like that. And that's why maybe times he gets hooked. Because, all right, you may score me a goal, but are you doing everything that I want you to do?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. But I think that there is this thing that we do, isn't there, with footballers, with managers, with people, with stars, with everybody, where we see something amazing and we immediately do it again, but better. Yeah. Yeah, there's a flaw in that. Because like you could genuinely have a conversation this season, which was ludicrous. But you could. People will tell you that Ollie Watkins has had a better season.
I put Kai Havertz in my title race 11.
Yeah, that was outrageous.
Because I felt like he had been more clutch at certain times in the season. Yes, and I understand Buvey doing that to me. But the reason my thinking behind it was when a player's been needed to score a goal, and again, you always need to score a goal, so I'm kind of being an idiot saying that.
But Kai Havertz hasn't had a better season than Erling Haaland. But he's going to win the Golden Boot.
Again, you said moments and memories. Those clutch moments and memories. Yeah, I remember Havertz.
Don't give me Brentford away, man, as a memory for you.
That's what it is, though. That's what it is. Yeah, but Brentford home as well, isn't it?
Chelsea.
Yeah, but if City win the league and the margin of error
they've won the game now.
But if City win the league with how tight it is this season, it's down to Erling Haaland again and his genius as a goal scorer.
I mean, you're probably not wrong.
And Arsenal fans will still tell you if they had a striker like Osimhen or someone of that
Haaland.
Ilk, or Haaland or Julian Alvarez or someone that could score loads of goals, they'd be winning the league this season.
Yeah. I just don't get it. Like when Cristiano Ronaldo went to Juventus, right? He scored over 100 goals, scored 101 goals in 134 games, and Buffon said it was their worst ever signing. Biggest mistake
ever. He's seen it all, by the way.
And you're just like, wait, okay, maybe he's bringing into the equation like, did it destabilise the dressing room? I don't know. I'd love to be in the Juve dressing room. All of that.
It was a short term.
I don't think Buffon can play at anyone's age.
Exactly.
But ultimately, the geezer scored 100 goals in 134 games. Like, that is just a brilliant contribution, isn't it?
He took them as close to the Champions League as they have been since.
It's like me, when Ronaldo went in the dressing room, again, going away, but when Ronaldo goes in the dressing room, people are going, well, Maguire doesn't like people, and not just Maguire, and Ronaldo's a big. It's like, catch up with that.
Yeah.
Why are we
setting the standard?
Why are we using that?
Yeah.
No, look, Haaland. I think one other thing is he's never gonna. All right, he may not. Someone's gonna show me. He's never gonna not make someone and stick it in the top bins. He's never gonna dribble through 10 players, and maybe that's why people judge him differently because of the way they make us feel. Also,
do you know what we seem to do with Haaland? We go, he's not doing what he should do. And then with players that are distinctly average, I don't know, I'll use...
Kai Havertz.
Mark Cucurella. People are going, God, he's having a good season. God, he's good. Ollie Watkins, who I love, and I do this about Watkins. I think Watkins should be playing for England. But they go, Watkins had a better season than Haaland. Well, he hasn't, has he? He hasn't. One of them's going to win a double. One of them is currently sitting 4 wins away from the double. The other one is possibly going to win the Conference League and get into the England team to sit on the bench.
Pep and Haaland, though, and maybe not... Pep not... being 100% set on him.
He's 100% on him. His minutes are huge. He's come back from injury, but he starts every game. I still think he's got a massive role to play. And when we talk about Buffon, Ronaldo came to Juve. It was a short-term deal. Let's get as many goals out of him as possible. Try win the Champions League. That was the dream with Ronaldo going to Juve. Similar to Man United, in terms of getting some quick success. Haaland as a long-term thing for Pep will be a viable option.
Do you think he's for Pep or the club, though? Do you think that was more like the club with the Hal thing, the Haaland thing, all that kind of... Obviously, he's a fantastic player.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm never quite sure on if Pep's set on him.
No,
Pep looks at him and thinks, I want my striker to do this.
Kane's never said... Pep Guardiola is never sentimental, though. I think that there's always a chance. Nobody in that team is safe.
Can I ask you
He's constantly evolving, isn't he?
Who's Who made you feel better, Aguero or Haaland?
Oh, Aguero times a million.
And I think that's what it comes like. I'd consider Aguero to be the better striker,
I think if you ask Pep, he'd
even
want
though he get less goals.
he'd want 10 Bernardo Silvas and Edison, who's basically like a Bernardo Silva the goal. He would, and he said in Barcelona if he could play with 10 was it Fabregas or was it 10 Xavis? He'd play with 10 Xavis.
No, it's Fabregas, wasn't it? Wasn't it Fabregas?
Someone like that, yeah. And you just think I don't think he likes Carl Walker. He's a right back.
Yeah.
He'd want Bernardo Silva at right back if he could play him there.
Yeah.
And they'd all just keep the ball.
Would Pep have preferred Kane?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Kane's record would have been better as well.
I think Kane brings
Man
others
City-
into play better as well.
Man City would have been a better team with Harry. I mean, Kane's a better footballer. And
Okay, why do you say that then?
but-
Considering
Kane's
Haaland's
better.
got the record because in the Prem.
Kane is a far better footballer, and he's a better finisher.
So is that maybe why? That's what kind of like where
We don't know about-
with
you can't
Haaland.
say
Maybe why
finishing.
people don't feel so.
You don't see. You
Can't
don't,
say finish. In the last 2 years, look, we had this debate before we signed Haaland. We had this big debate. What would be better? Ultimately, we've now 2 years later, he's got more goals than Kane, and he's won a treble. So you can't say
what do you mean more goals than Kane?
he's got more goals in the last 2 years than Harry Kane.
Oh, I see.
He scored more goals last season in the league.
Oh,
Yes, we
right.
can
Yeah.
debate
Sorry,
Spurs
but
are
they're
rubbish.
playing for different teams. I'm saying that if Kane was playing
Kane's
with
a
De
big
Bruyne,
side now,
no, but I'm saying if Kane, yeah, and he's breaking all records in
and
Germany.
he hasn't won the league, and the goals haven't contributed towards winning the league title.
Okay, but you've just totally shifted it, haven't you?
Yeah, because Haaland was.
Be like me going these curtains.
It's like going
Yeah, but
Haaland.
it's not
It's
though,
like
is it?
going
Because
Haaland for
Haaland was
Spurs. wouldn't
signed.
score as many
Haaland was
goals.
signed.
Because
What
I'm
happened
talking
the
about
first
goal
season? We won the-
scoring of.
we won
I'm
the
talking
Champions League.
about the
Pick one
goal
up,
scoring of Kane. I'm talking about the goal scoring of Kane. I
I
was
said
saying
what would be better for Man City, and
I said
obviously we
that
won the
Kane-
treble.
And then and you said he scored more goals over a 2-year period. I went, okay, well he's gone to Germany playing for a good team and he's
Yeah, of
broken all
course,
records.
of course.
And you went, well he hasn't won anything.
Yeah, that matters. Haaland's come and instantly won us the Champions League, which we've
Come on,
never
if
won
Kane
before.
went City.
So what we're saying
win
here,
stuff.
we would have won the quadruple. Then that's the success. I don't
No,
think.
I think holding Kane not having yet won anything at
Was funny.
Bayern isn't the point at all, and it just totally shifts it away from the point. The point is, would Kane score more goals? Would Man City be a better team if Kane was in it?
A better team, fine, but the goals and success, we don't know that. I don't see more
Kane
goals
is a-
coming
Kane
out of
is-
Harry Kane.
I think you could easily argue as well as I think Haaland did last season, and as much as I think that Erling Haaland was robbed of a Ballon d'Or, I think it's fair to argue that Harry Kane scoring an awful lot of goals for a Tottenham team in total disarray with a manager that hates them was more impressive than scoring more goals for one of the most devastating teams
I
and
think
managers
Kane
that you've
makes
ever seen.
I think Kane would make his teammates
Kane was
better
a
as
one.
well.
Kane was a one man team for Tottenham.
If Haaland
Put
scores
him in
50
Son,
goals
Salah.
and City win one League Cup, we could have that debate 1,000,000%. You know I'd have that debate. But you can't sit there and say we won the treble. First time a club's ever done that since 1999. The second in the country's history. And we won our first Champions League ever as a club. It's because of Erling Haaland's goals.
But you
I've
can't-
not seen
no, but
Kane
you
score
can't-
52 and 53. I've never seen that.
No, but he's doing similar numbers in Germany
He's
now.
not doing 52 and 53
No,
in
he's
Germany.
doing very similar. Yeah, he is. Yes, he actually
Is he in the 50s
yes,
now?
He actually
If I'm wrong
is.
about
You
that,
could-
hold
if
on,
you could
He
that's fine.
actually is.
Kane and Haaland's passport, would you?
No. Kane's a better player by far.
Do you think England would be better
Yeah.
with Kane or Haaland?
England are better with Kane. Of course,
Why do-
I admit
why
that.
do you
He's a
think
better
that?
total footballer. I'm saying Pep would probably still want Erling Haaland for certain physical reasons.
Look, I don't think Pep's going to give up 50 goals like that easy. But I think there's parts of him that goes,
Of course. Yeah. I think he's yeah.
It's hard when the
right.
issue is we've seen the proof. We've seen the proof.
Let's wrap it up. Is Haaland disrespected?
Yeah, massively.
I agree that
I
he
think
is.
he is disrespected. The sheer fact he didn't win the Ballon d'Or says it
Crazy.
so. But I think the reason behind that is because of the way he makes you feel about football isn't as strong as a Messi or
Henry,
Ronaldo
even, yeah.
or even
Yeah,
an Henry.
yeah.
Agreed.